today Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be concluding his three-nation tour, and all of them have been very successful. Dr. Amit Sarwal, who is the editor of Australia Today, and Sarah Gates, who is the Hindu rights activist. I believe good afternoon to both of you, and thank you very much for taking out your time and speaking to us. Dr. Sarwal, if you will tell us about your thoughts as far as today's joint briefing that has also been addressed by the two country prime ministers there, and the relationship now that has been taken to a next level as promised by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. What are your thoughts on today's developments, sir?
Now, one of the things is very clear that, Indian Prime Minister wants Australia to play the game according to the rules that are set by the Indian Prime Minister. He has stressed on one thing, that's Paraspara, the very ideology of mutual trust and respect. He says there is not going to be any more A, B, C, D, E's of diplomacy, which is the Commonwealth, Commonwealth cricket curry, or democracy, diplomacy, dosti, or education, economy, energy. It's going to be mutual trust and respect between the two countries, and that's what I think it's going to take this the two countries forward. And we have seen, that. So if you look at, just as example, business between Australia and China, it was never based on a mutual trust. And still China lacks that trust amongst the biggest players of the industry. And right now, India can provide that trust and a long-term trustworthy partner as well.
Right. Sarah, what is your understanding as far as, Prime Minister Modi has been also saying that in the one last year alone, both of the country prime ministers have met at least on 6 different occasions. But when Prime Minister Albanese was in India in March, and the issue that is being raised when it comes to rising attacks on Hindu mandirs there in Australia, do you believe that action has been taken by the Australian government? Because that is the message that has been reiterated even today.
I think coming back to Dr. Amit Sarwal's reporting on this, it's very important that the media have had a blackout, and the Australia Today are the primary source of information regarding these attacks. So the media in Australia may not have been taking this seriously enough, and they may even be continuing to misreport this or present a one-sided case. But that doesn't indicate the Australian government's concerns, and it certainly doesn't indicate the amount of work that's been going on behind the scenes. I do want to assure the diaspora community and the people of India that our government is taking this very seriously. I have heard through my engagement with the authorities that they are doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and it's really important for the diaspora and anyone who has any information about this extremist movement to come forward and provide that to the security hotline. It's just a continuous matter of building the case, but this is totally contradictory to our values, and it's totally contradictory to the agreements that have been made on mutual trust and mutual respect. And I'll just add one more point. Senator Penny Wong has said that she wants an Indo-Pacific where no country dominates and no country is dominated. And India is certainly leading the way for the Global South, and we belong to this Global South Indo-Pacific region. And it's very, very important that we keep our mutual trust and respect and our friendship pure and progressive.
Right, but Sarah, when it comes to the action actually being taken, do you believe that has been true? Because there has been this spate of attacks that have evidently come down from the months of January, February and March. I mean, almost on a weekly basis, such kind of attacks that were being reported, and hardly any news that comes of such kind of attacks. Now, do you believe that appropriate action is being taken by the Australian government, or are these just assurances?
I do believe that there's a very thorough investigation that needs to be done, and that this is a concern for security and social cohesion, and it's a concern for security more broadly as per Indo-Pacific security issues. So I do think the government are taking it very seriously, and the de-escalation between January and May is certainly a good indication that they have pushed back. And there's been a lot of cancellation, and many events have been subdued. They've taken down, the authorities themselves have taken down the propaganda they've, made statements to the effect through their actions that they don't support the hatred against Hindus and they want to pull it out of our community. So I do think there will be progress on that front, but we do need to continue to hold them to account. So please do keep providing that information that they need to press charges and prosecute.
Right, so such assurances have been necessary, especially the recent spate of attacks that have been reported. But Dr. Sarwal, speaking on the bigger issues as far as, the Prime Minister also making the announcement of an establishment of a new Australian Consulate General in Bengaluru, do you believe that it will help further when it comes to Australian businesses to India?
Definitely. I think, as I said, that the partnership is based on mutual reciprocal trust. So India is establishing a permanent consulate in Brisbane, and Australia has agreed to start another consulate in Bengaluru. I was just talking to someone who was instrumental in establishing the Kolkata consulate, and she is she positively thinks that the Bengaluru consulate for Australia can be a game changer, given you have you have India's Silicon Valley down south. So at this stage, what Australia is looking for is cybersecurity experts, and India can definitely provide that, through its businesses down south.
All right. Thank you very much, both of you, Sarah and Dr. Sarwal. Thank you very much for taking out your time and speaking to us right here on Times Now. As we can conclude that the Prime Minister's visit to Australia has been a very successful one, as several range of issues and sectors that were discussed between the two leaders. We will be back after a short break.